Hello! As part of our participation at the 7th International Conference on Contemporary Urban Affairs in Architecture and Urbanism, we, Professor Imen bin Youssef from the University of Montreal and Associate Professor Ines Sahtout from the University of Tunis, are honored to present our paper today entitled Dynamic Culture and Participatory Design, Mapping User Experience in Urban Spaces. The outline of our presentation is as follows. We begin by identifying the fundamental points of participatory design, then we integrate the particularities of the cultural dynamic that underlines the duality of urban development through participatory design. Through this diagram illustrating our research process, we propose to go through 5 approaches. As follows, the first point is to identify the basics of a cultural dynamics. The participatory aspect will be detailed in the second point to demonstrate through parametric modeling a new cartography of the city of Tataouine, which will allow us, in the third point, to show examples of mapping methods in an aspect both conceptual and constructive. The fourth point identifies the specificities of a cartographic case study through parametric modeling that integrates the user in such a way that he becomes aware of the architectural and heritage value of his region. As for our conclusion, in the fifth point, we propose a future reading of urban development that promotes the sustainability of architectural projects through the interpretation and exploitation of spatial use mapping. To demonstrate that participatory design and cultural dynamics are two complementary and mutually simulating concepts, we refer to the two methods developed by Ezio Manzini for social dynamic innovation. Designing for the community, designing with the community. So we intend to go further than these two forms of participatory interpretation and develop a new approach based on designing through and by the interpretation of users' activities and real-life experiences. To interpret use through design and user activities, we present a number of mapping methods and tools too. The first is conceptual, as you can see in this representation, where a cluster of words and colors highlights urban planning and users in terms of a specific vocabulary and conversion interdisciplinary relationships. The second method is based on Elouse's study of Ksur valorization in her research on the city of Tataouine. Social design and event design in southeastern Tunisia, the heterotopia of the Ksur space. We have identified the Between the Ksur project as a research project. This method is humanistic because it's based on an activity and an experience lived with the inhabitants to discover their Ksur sites by traveling together between the Ksurs and discovering in groups the hidden values of the region. Notice that by exploring the traditions, know-how, lifestyles, and habits of a community, it's possible to discover other architectural and urban interpretations through daily activities and use. Through this illustration, we explore the hidden meanings that users can have. Manzini discovered that social design is done with or for the community, but to evoke and integrate citizen practices, we emphasize and engage in a cartographic process to promote design through activities. In our cities, every interaction and movement creates data that reflects how we live and use our urban spaces. By analyzing this data, we can uncover patterns in how spaces are utilized and understand the relationship between people's behaviors and the environment. This analysis is crucial for designing urban spaces that are tailored to the specific needs of the community. For this reason, we propose to model the activities and routes of the citizens of Tataouine for a simulation of the journeys to the Ksurs in order to progress towards our case study. The integration of an interactive and specifically parametric component is essential for the emergence of new ideas. A map of the cultural dynamics of the city of Tataouine was created using these parametric modeling approaches. As first step, we import OpenStreetMap, geographic data for the city of Tataouine. This data includes detailed information about the topography of the city, its streets, buildings, and other geographic features. Third, we customize and adjust parameters to orient the map according to the daily activities of local residents. Fourth, we focus on the essential amenities of citizens. Fifth, we customize the map to meet needs, functions, and use. In our initial modelization, we focused on mapping the heart of Tataouine. This foundational analysis lays the groundwork for understanding the city's core, serving as reference for our subsequent urban studies. Exploring Tataouine virtually allows us to uncover the essential amenities that significantly impact the daily lives of its residents. This virtual journey helps us to decode the city's concealed features and understand what truly matters to the local community. Minimization of mass addition distances. User activities are developed around a barycenter. This is a sale area called electro-sayah. In this video, we can see how activities are displayed according to a program that identifies the local point of the city. The itinerary is illustrated by connecting lines that map the activities to a specific time. In our modeling too, we've used parametric modeling to calculate and visualize the spatial journeys within Tataouine. The culmination of this intricate analysis has led us to a significant discovery: the barycenter of Tataouine, identified as electro-sayah. This central point represents the heart of the city's dynamics, offering us a unique perspective on the urban structure and the flow of its inhabitants' daily activities. By visualizing the different activities that take place in each location, urban designers can learn more about patterns of human behavior. Activity mapping offers a deep dive into urban interactions, highlighting where and how people engage their environment. This insight guides urban designers in creating spaces that are sustainable, user-focused, and aligned with the community's lifestyle. Through this installation of XOR locations as a functional unit of the Central Electro-Sayah activity in Tataouine, we explore the map. This is our third modeling, which distributes activity and travel distance as a function of routes to these XOR, including Qsar Dghagra, Qsar Ouled Dabbab, Qsar Ouled Sultan, and Qsar Tunkut. Now we will scroll the results of the cartographies collected and which identify on the user routes by minimizing and by maximizing the distance of relation between the barycenter of Tataouine and the various XOR for estimates of visits. Qsar Ouled Sultan, Qsar Tunkut. This mapping of user paths shows a corresponding navigation between the XOR seats. To conclude our presentation, we invite you to explore this personalized illustration inspired by Tim Brown's white paper, articulating a trilogy that frames the deployment of a use map based on cultural dynamics. This approach advocates for the resilient enhancement of cultural heritage, focusing on its sustainable preservation and enduring legacy. Born from a participatory methodology, it requires the inclusion of case studies that reflect the evolutionary journey of the user experience, its regional nuances, and most importantly, sustainable urban development. In doing so, we ensure that our cultural tapestry remains vibrant and sustainably woven into the fabric of urban life, fostering a resilient and user-centered urban future. Thank you for your attention.